I want to talk about the dark night of the soul. Personally, in my adulthood, I think I have spent more time in the dark night of the soul period than I've actually spent operating normally in the world. The way I experienced it is I would have my dark night of the soul, which would last for, on average, months. And in certain circumstances, it was years, but it would be months. I would assimilate some type of lesson or understanding and download, and then I would reappear to the world. I would make my mark, and then something would happen, and then floop, I would go back into the dark night of the soul again for like months on end. And then the cycle repeats. I would get out of the dark night of the soul, make my mark, and then floop, get back into the dark night of the soul. And with each dark night of the soul, there was a refinement, and there was kind of a understanding of how things operate in this world. And the dark night of the soul for me was a period where I did not talk to people, very rare. Picking up the phone and answering phone calls was like the biggest effort ever. Taking a shower, brushing my teeth. I mean, there was just so much heaviness on top of me. I was fighting so many unclean spirits, demonic spirits. I was in such a depressed state, but I knew it was a spiritual warfare that I was going through. There was a lot of healing that I had to do with the dark night of the soul. A lot of inner child wounds, a lot of generational curses, generational trauma, a lot of understanding who I am as God's child. And it was during the dark night of the soul where I learned about Christ, right? I was born and raised in the Catholic tradition, but we weren't like religious or anything like that. And so, but I never had a relationship with Christ. And I remember my back was against the wall, and I was like, well, maybe this Jesus thing is real. Like, maybe it is real. And I opened up my Bible and I started reading it, and I read it from front to back. And I felt like there was a cleansing of my spirit, and I got to see truth that was downloaded from the Holy Spirit, not truth that was absorbed by other people's interpretation of the truth. It was truth that I sought out for. And getting to know Christ did not make my life any easier off the bat. In fact, on the contrary, having this awareness was a little bit of it was overwhelming, right? That you understand how things kind of operate. But one thing that I realized is that it's really your internal world. That's what you are in control of, is your internal world. You're in control of your healing. You're in control of allowing God to work in your heart. You're in control of giving yourself love. And I think one of the things that we need to give off a little bit more is compassion. And there are certain scenarios in your life where maybe you can't interact with certain people in the third dimension, but once you kind of level up a little bit, you can still give them love in the fifth dimension. You still can send them love, even if they hurt you. You can still send them love and light and not be attached to the result of how that will manifest in the third dimension, but you can do your part and not fight fire with fire, but, I say fight fire with water, with love. So if you are going through your dark night of the soul, whether it's your first one, whether it's your 10th one, you're not the only person that's going through it. And it's just one of those things that you have to experience in order for you to shed what you need to shed, level up, and step into your divine purpose if you do allow yourself to be directed into your divine purpose. If you're looking for resources to help you heal post-narcissistic abuse, check out Rising Up, 30 days of biblically inspired journal prompts to help feed your spirit. Take your power back and defeat the narcissist. The link to the ebook is in the description below. If you know you have a bigger purpose in life and are looking to transform your passion into passive income, check out my free ebook, Find Your Purpose and Build Your Heart-Centered Online Business. The link to the free ebook is in the description below.